ECOWAS' biggest mistake was threatening military action against Niger Republic Coup leaders Kayode. Mr. Kayode, who stated this in a statement titled, "Niger Republic, a word of caution to the dogs of war," said that it would be improper for Nigeria as a sovereign nation to be held responsible for the socio-economic problems created in Niger Republic by France. Welcome back to Prospect Channels TV. Thank you for always coming out here. If you are just joining us, please kindly subscribe and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. The former Minister of Aviation and a chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), Kayode, has said that the threat of military action against the Niger Republic coup leaders by the Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS), led by Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, was a terrible mistake. Mr. Kayode, who stated this in a statement titled, "Niger Republic, a word of caution to the dogs of war," said that it will be improper for Nigeria as a sovereign nation to be held responsible for the socio-economic problems created in Niger Republic by France. He added that it would be unjust for the Nigerian government to allow our military personnel to be used as tools to foster French maltreatment of African countries. He said, "I am on record as saying that if Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, Mali, or any other country attacks Nigeria, violates our territorial integrity, or attempts to take 1 inch of our nation, we must and we will fight them to the last man." I have also said that Nigeria's defense budget is far higher than all the other 14 countries in West Africa put together, and that there is no nation in our sub-region that can defeat us in a military conflict despite our many challenges. I stand by these words. I am, however, constrained to add the following as a word of caution to those who seek to cry havoc and unleash the dogs of war, and has a piece of unsolicited advice to the advocates of military invention. It will be imprudent and unwise for Nigeria to attempt to clean up France's mess in Niger Republic. The French are the most rapacious, greedy, vicious, destructive, and unrelenting colonial foreign power on the African continent. They have done nothing for Africa other than privilege, rape, undermine, plunder, and take advantage of her to deploy our military, go to war, and allow Nigerian blood to be split, just to help her to continue to gang rape the citizens of Niger Republic and subject them to slavery, would be unjust, wicked, short-sighted, stupid, and counterproductive. Worse still, it will have implications for the stability of our nation, our entire sub-region, and our increasingly fruitful relationship with President Putin and the Russia Federation, who are slowly emerging as Africa's best friend, and today, together with the Chinese, appear to be the only foreign power that truly seek to assist and support the growth and development of African countries. To those who believe that Nigeria ought to continue to be the local enforcer and herdsman of the French, the Europeans, the British, and Americans in our sub-region, I ask the following: who do they think is behind Boko Haram and ISWAP, and why did those so-called Western allies refuse to sell us arms to fight those two terrorist organizations until Trump came along? And of course, Since Trump left, we have been given nothing. Fani Kayode added that the Western world want to fight a war against Nigerians, African brothers, causing a cauldron of fire in the West and North African sub-region. They also want northern Nigeria and the entire African Share region to be burnt to ashes, similar to Ukraine, Iraq, Syria, Libya, and Afghanistan, he said. He continued, "We must never allow this to happen. And if the truth be told, the biggest mistake that ECOWAS made in the first place was to threaten the Niger Republic with military action if the coupists refused to step down and restore President Bazoum to power. I said this because once a threat is issued and it is not followed up with action, you look weak, infatuate, and pathetic. That is the contra we are now in, and the wisest thing to do at this point is to step back from the brink and the rhetoric of war and engage in diplomacy, deploying our troops into our neighbors' country in an attempt to effect regime change on the behalf of a bunch of power-based feral psychopaths like the French, whose primary dream and fantasy has always been the dismemberment, destabilization and destruction of Nigerians, and unacceptable to do the dirty work for a nation that stood on the wrong side during our civil war, and that almost pushed us into a war with the Cameroons over the Bakassi Palestinian is deeply insulting to our sensibilities. I do not support military governments, and I cannot abide on stomach the way in which Niger Republic, Mali, and Burkina Faso have threatened, insulted, and made a mockery of our nation and people over the last few days. But one thing is clear: the military regimes in all of those three countries are widely popular, and the hatred for France in each of them is palpable and irreversible. Why should we get involved in all this? This is not our fight. If we choose to stand on the side of the French, the colonialists and oppressors against the will of the people of these three sovereign nations, it may well result in chaos, rebellion, and a revolution in our own country. This must be avoided at all costs. It is time to get sense and shape our sword. This whole thing is obviously a Western conspiracy and trap, and we must ensure that our newly elected president does not fall into it. This is a time for restraint and wise counsel to prevail. This is the time for us to put our national interest before that any other. This is a time for us to indulge in some sober reflection and reject any gung-ho, and any gung-ho action that would ultimately result in a reversal of the great strides that we have made as a nation over the last 24 years and the destruction of our great country, Nigeria. So guys, I'm dropping it here. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section, please. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not. Thank you.